Buckle up. Trump is about to skyrocket crypto. As we head into a pro crypto White House, I've told you guys this. Darkness is coming to light. All things done in darkness always come to light. Financially, spiritually, within our world, you're going to start to see all the darkness transmute itself. Now, what we have to understand is that it's our opportunity to transmute that darkness back to light. So sitting on the sidelines is going to do absolutely nothing. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how Joe Rogan again is, putting it out there for us. They're talking about stuff that we never thought would be talked about publicly. So I'm going to show you the first video. Then I'm going to show you facts, figures, numbers, logic, how somebody that we know very, very well, the head of the Ripple Army, Brad Garlinghouse, actually was affected by this. And then I'm going to break down deeper how Jim Cramer, this is why the media is starting to be distrusted. And I'm going to show you exactly why. Jim Cramer 1 minute tells you that you're an idiot for buying crypto, and the next minute he's telling you you should diversify your portfolio into crypto. And this is what our parents, our grandparents, what some of you are watching. Remember, television, tell you a vision. It's a program show, program information, and channel information. Well, we're no longer in the era where we're just sitting in front of a TV and having a newspaper to get our information. We have the internet. We have all of this information at our fingertips. So the most important thing is, what, number one, are you consuming? What are you hearing? And what are you activating on? Why do you believe what you believe? This is the era of authenticity. So the first video we're going to watch is going viral on Twitter right now. This gentleman was on Joe Rogan. So this is Mark Andreessen. So dive into him on your own leisure here. But I want you to listen to this part around Operation Choke Point, which is super, super important to understand. Okay. This is something that I never thought they would be talking about openly. Listen to what he says. And I'm going to show you somebody who was personally affected by this actual Operation Choke Point.
Deposit. You can't get insurance. Like, none of that stuff is, you've been sanctioned, right? None of that stuff is available. And then this administration extended that concept to apply it to tech founders, crypto founders, and then just generally political opponents. So, yeah, so that's been like super pernicious.
And I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, 100%. And this is called, so it's Operation Choke Point 1.0 was 15 years ago against the pot and the guns. Choke Point 2.0 is primarily against their political enemies and then to their disfavored tech startups.
Okay, so this is really important. So this is, now your guys are all starting to see why in 2020, when I said I'm holding on like a tick on a dog, you're starting to see how deep of research we were doing. When we started to connect Ethereum Enterprise, we started to connect consensus, we started to connect all these things behind the scene. There was something much deeper going on, a political agenda. Not an American first agenda, not a growth agenda, not supporting the middle class agenda or what's right for America. It was a political and financial narrative. And now it's all being exposed.
And it's hit the tech world. Like we've had like 30 founders debanked in the last 4 years.
Really?
Yeah. It's been a big recurring pattern.
30.
But this is one of the reasons why we ended up supporting Trump. It's like we can't live in this world. We can't live in a world where somebody starts a company that's a completely legal thing and then they literally like get sanctioned, right, and embargoed by the United States government through a completely unaccountable, by the way, no due process. None of this is written down. There's no rules. There's no court. There's no decision process. There's no appeal. Who do you appeal to, right? Like, who do you go to get your bank account back, right?
God.
And then there's also the civil asset forfeiture side of it, which is right the other side, and that doesn't happen to us, but that happens to people in a lot of places now who get arrested, and all of a sudden, the state takes their money.
Yes, but that happens to people if they get pulled over and they have a large amount of cash in some states.
Right. Or, there've been, there's well-publicized examples of like, there was like, there'll be some investigation into like, safe deposit boxes. And the next thing, the feds have seized all the contents of the safe deposit boxes, and that stuff never gets returned. And so it's this, and this is when, this is when Trump says the deep state, like the way we would describe it is it's administrative power. It's political power being administered, not through legislation, right? So there's no defined law that covers this. It's not through regulation, right? There's nothing you can't go sue a regulator to fix this. It's not through any kind of court judgment. It's just raw power. It's just raw administrative power. It's the government or politicians just deciding that things are going to be a certain way, and then they just apply pressure until they get it.
So what happens to those
deposit.
I mean, this is wild. And then, boom, Brad Garlinghouse came out on October 23rd, 2024. Citibank debanked Ripple's Brad Garlinghouse due to crypto executive says. So the chief, CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, recounted his own brush with the U.S. government's pressure on banks to be wary of digital assets. So the gosh, come on, JB. Ripple co-founder Brad Garlinghouse has personally been severed from the longtime banking relationship because of his prominent figure in crypto. He told an audience in Washington, this was on Wednesday, or this was, man, individuals with crypto in the crypto industry are being debanked. He told a Washington group here. So Garlinghouse tied his own experience to a wider trend in U.S. industry that has struggled to maintain banking ties as regulators have cautioned institutions to limit their crypto involvement. Okay. So this is what we're moving from. We're moving from, again, people playing characters, right, with a different agenda behind the scenes to people with actual character and authenticity. Again, I keep sharing this from a spiritual sense. This has to happen. So we're starting to see all those cracks come to light. Again, darkness always comes to light. Okay, more great news. Justin Trump administration is eyeing the CFTC to oversee digital asset regulation per Fox News. So switching from the SEC to CFTC, which makes a lot more sense. So the next, gosh, man, what do we got? Under 70 days now. So we're sitting about 60 days away. It's going to be really, really, really interesting the first 100 days that Trump's in office. So I'm really excited to see after it's back into January 20th, somewhere around there. So about those 100 days after, which is so awesome because that is the peak of the bull run, right? January, February, March, April. That's when altcoins take off, right? Then we're going to be getting all this new news coming in, darkness coming to light, new infrastructure. So a lot of people, we say sell in May, go away. By May, we've usually exited our exit strategy, our 50% exit strategy. People have different exit strategies, but organically the markets go down in May. Summertime, it's going to go back up again on 2025. So we got about 14 months left, and then it starts to cool off in 2026. Then we got the bear market, and we got another big bull run. So we got two nice bull runs to really, really take advantage for Main Street to get a piece of Wall Street. Now, for those of you going into Thanksgiving, this is something you should show your family here is still denying cryptocurrency. The governments of the US, China, and UK collectively hold 463 BTC worth 43.2 billion, representing 2.3% of Bitcoin's current supply. So you can show them this tweet right here from Cointelegraph. Why would the US government? Okay, now the US government holds more Bitcoin than any country. Okay, we are the largest country GDP wise. China is second. Okay, you got UK third, Kingdom Bhutan. You got fourth, you got El Salvador, right? They're completely transforming their financial system. You got, is that Ukrainian government? 60 million. You got Venezuela, 22, and Finland's got 7.9. And I showed you the video this week of all these countries that are legalizing crypto now. Okay, so now let's listen to Jim Cramer here. Now, I do want to give clarity on this. We want to listen to what he says. Now, he does not say Bitcoin in this, but listen to, think about just being the public sitting there. You're my parents watching the news, which they do, right? And they hear stuff like this. So if you see Jim Cramer, people trust the media, or that distrust is becoming very apparent now. But there's still a huge group of the population, baby boomers, that are sitting there watching TV that still trust the media. And this is the type of stuff that he says. And then I'm going to show you how he's flipped the script.
And I think that everybody who owns these various coins, Solana, Litecoin, I do think you're an idiot. Okay? I did not go to college to get stupid. These people who own these things should not own them. They shouldn't own them. And I think,
to be fair, he mentioned specific coins, but we know he goes back and forth on crypto and back and forth on crypto. But you got this big sign up here, cryptocurrencies. You got Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, Solana, Coinbase Global, all up here, right? And he's saying you're an idiot if you buy it. Jamie Dimon told you you'd be fired. You're a criminal. BlackRock, Larry Fink said that's used for money laundering. That's all the stuff that the public has heard. So when your family is resisting cryptocurrency, you got to be like, you got to know this is what they're hearing. So are they going to believe you, right? Or are they going to believe this trusted media that they've learned to trust? No, I'm not saying we should trust the media. What I'm saying is this is what they've been used to forever. So we're trying to rewire the subconscious mind programming. Key word, programming. It's a television program, right? And so the key is to embody. The key is to be. The key is to live it. That's how first they'll judge you, then they'll respect you, then they'll follow you. I got so much judgment in 2020, 2021. I was talking 2022, talking about this stuff. Then they started like, wait a minute, he's going to be consistent. He's going to talk about the same thing every single day. He's going to stand on his truth. He's going to stick with Ripple and XRP as an investment. And then now they're coming out of the woodworks. How do I get into Ripple? How do I get into XRP? I'm like, the same way you could get into it 2 years ago. And of course, I'm going to reach back and help people because I get it. This is the type of shit they're hearing. So Jim Cramer tells you you're an idiot, right? But now listen to what he's saying about crypto just recently.
Some jewelry, $100 in gold coins, and artists and dentists were excluded. But from a modern perspective, this was an absolutely insane move, downright un-American. In the context of the Great Depression, the banking regulations of the time, where the Fed wasn't allowed to lend more money unless it had more bullion, you can see why FDR did it. But the whole situation was absurd. Now, these days, I still have some gold as a hedge, but because it can be easily confiscated, done once, can be done again, I think Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe even some other cryptocurrencies deserve a spot in your portfolio, too. Maybe one day if the deficit gets under control, I'll change my tune. But anyone who's followed me for more than 10 minutes knows that I'm a huge skeptic about our government's ability to balance the budget. It's not that we don't know.
I thought you told people they're idiots if they buy cryptocurrencies. I mean, he just said Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, but in your other thing, you told people I mean, which one is it, man?
Know how to solve the problem. It's that legislators lack the political will to do things that are
And here's the thing, too. You know, he said, you guys know my stance if you've listened to me for the next 10 years, right? Obviously, the government's balance sheet is all backwards, more debt than we have income. Well, when you made that other video, our balance sheet was more debt than we had income. They were printing more money than in history. So it's like, so then my point behind this is you have to use your own discernment, right? Jim Cramer's not going to make, hopefully isn't making your financial decisions. Hopefully you weren't waiting for a president to save you, because this is really important part of this. Trump is now coming in as a president. Okay. He's here. So the question I have for you is, what activities have you changed? What behaviors have you changed? What have you done differently? So now your president either lost or won, one of the two, right? So when Biden won, I was more, I'm conservative. I'm a big RFK fan. And so did I want the other side to win? Of course I wanted the other side to win, just based on the businesses I run, things like that. But it didn't stop me from getting up to go to the gym. It didn't stop me from being ethical and moral. It didn't stop me from working hard. It was harder with 19% inflation over the past, 36 months or since the pandemic, right? It was more difficult. Our rents went up. We have, multiple companies, we gave big raises to our team members. We couldn't do that this year just because of inflation. It was like, man, we couldn't give those. We gave large raises to our team in 2023. We couldn't do it again in 2024. There was too much stress on the budget. The largest expenses is employees, is payroll, right? And so we did the best we can to keep expenses down. We didn't, cut our way, team members our way to save. We don't save our way in our companies to growth. We grow, right? And so we figured out how to grow our companies. We figured out how to stay diligent. We got more efficient, things like that. So my point behind all of this is we have to start to trust our own discernment. And you do that by taking sovereignty. Now, I don't mean sovereignty where you're going to, be a sovereign citizen and all that. What I'm saying is, like, you have to understand where your money is going. Very important. So if you're going to spend 7 to 9 hours a day away from your family, trading time for money, shouldn't you know every single dime of that money and where it's going? Think about that. That job that you're going to, that exchange of energy where you're going to away from your family for 8 to 9 hours a day, you're getting an exchange, which is money. Okay. That money is someone else's debt. It has 3% purchasing power. Our government has driven us so far into this hole. We are not efficient. We have more debt than we have income. There's nothing backing our currency. So you're seeing why now Jim Cramer flipped his tune. Larry Fink flipped his tune. JP Morgan is deep in cryptocurrencies. Don't let them fool you. When he was telling you that Bitcoin is used for money laundering, Pet Rock, that was another person, but they literally were building their own blockchain technology. They literally were buying, all these banks were buying cryptocurrency. All of them have exposure to Bitcoin, guys. They'll let their wealthy clients do it, but not the middle class do it. Not the people coming in living paycheck. They're not going to educate you on how to do that, but they will. They will. First, they resist it, then they sue it, then they regulate it, then they join it. When regulation comes, oh, absolutely. Come on in. Water's warm because they're going to be able to profit off of it. Because now they're going to want your Bitcoin, your XRP, your big cryptos in their bank because it's an appreciating asset. So all you're seeing is a transfer of money and energy. That's it. Money is changing form. That's all that's happening right now. Okay. So your job is to figure out that form change. What is truly going to be here? One of the first warnings I have for you is get out of this hype meme stuff, guys. It doesn't work. Yes, a few people will hit it big, but here's the thing. Just like the casino, when you hit it big, guess what you think you can do? You think you can do it again. That's why the casinos give free drinks. That's why they have free rooms. Because you're not going to hit it again. So if that's your behavior, there's no wealthy person, true wealth person that is sitting there chasing meme coins. It doesn't exist, guys. It doesn't exist. So be very careful with that type of stuff, okay? Now, it doesn't mean you shouldn't allocate a little bit into your portfolio to play, but I don't spend my days chasing meme coins. It doesn't make any sense. It pulls you out of your long-term fundamental strategy. It creates addictive behaviors. And I don't care how strong you are. When you get that dopamine hit, you think you can do it again, and you take more risk, and you pull it from your long-term strategy. That's how addictions are created. It's about taking the middle ground. Okay. So I have a long-term and a short-term strategy. My long-term and short-term strategy goes like this. I use the risk pyramid. Okay. On the left side of the risk pyramid, as you go up the risk pyramid, it's high risk, high return. Okay. Cryptos are at the top of that. High risk, super high return. Now we're going into the bull run. It's going to go parabolic. Okay. Straight up. As it goes straight up, I'm pulling profits calmly on the way up. Okay. If I get caught at the top, I just write it down. I hold my cryptos. I hold the line. Okay. When I pull profits, I pull it down the risk pyramid, and I use tier 1 capital. I use cash value life insurance. I use IUL. Some people use whole life. I make sure my family is taken care of with term to make sure they're taken care of. If something happens to me, you should always make sure your family is protected, especially if you're the head of the household. Number 2 is I make sure that my money is insured. I can compound it. I can grow it, and it's getting market-like returns. Okay. I can also borrow against the cash value tax-free. So I'm taking profits, house money, and I'm literally securing it. And my principal is guaranteed. I'm insuring my money. Okay. From there, when my policies are max funded in this bull run, then I'll buy a little bit more silver, go into real estate, put money on the sidelines, and then repeat the process in the next bear market and bull run. Okay. Bull run number 1 is to learn the game. Bull run number 2 is wealth, and bull run number 3 is generational wealth. So I'm in bull run number 2. So now the wealth is coming in because we were very disciplined. We were very consistent. We didn't play games with our money. We just dollar cost averaged in. Okay. We bought the lows and we sold the highs. Super simple. Okay. And this is the process, disciplined and consistent, that I repeat over and over again. I stay out of hype trends. I stay away from people who are constantly hypey about cryptos or any type of investment. If I'm sitting with somebody and they're not talking 5 years, 10 years down the road, I want nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Because if someone's like, oh, did you get in this or can you do this? And they're constantly like this next big thing, you got to, if you peel back the curtain, I guarantee that's what their life looks like. Oh, let's see, we're still connected. Oh, we're still connected. There we go. All right. Well, that's what I got for you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Am I still connected here? Let me check. Test. Oh, we're still good. That was awesome. All right. Well, happy Thanksgiving. I love you guys very, very much. Just want to say I'm very thankful to all of you guys for listening to this stuff. I really appreciate it. And so if you need any support at all, I have information down below so you can do our needs assessment. What is the needs assessment? I want to be very clear of 2 different things. So I want to make sure it's very clear so you can go down the right pathway. We get hundreds of messages for help. So If you're interested in understanding how I use cash value life insurance or how to protect your family, okay, there's a needs assessment. You fill it out in detail, as detailed as possible. What I do may not work for you. So what we do is called a needs assessment. My team will review your needs assessment. They'll text you, call you, email you. You'll never send them money directly, and we'll never ask about your crypto portfolio. That's not what we do. We don't invest people's crypto, okay? We don't have a trading platform. So be very careful with scammers out there, okay? We'll never ask you about your crypto. I'll never DM you proactively. We don't get paid by the client. Okay, it's a free retirement strategy consultation. So that's around cash value life insurance. On the other side, I have my education academy, live calls, education. We've helped over 9,000 people. My 120-day challenge. Put your blinders on, guys. Get in my 120-day challenge. I promise you, 4 months later, you'll be in a completely different paradigm. That's all in description down below on my social media platform. Appreciate you, as we always say. Kind of a funky day. Warriors, let's get your shit together. Let's go.